Day 67, ladies and gentlemen, of our 1000 Dawns. And, well, sadly, yes, yet again, you know how I said yesterday was, we were going to make last night better than the previous night? To be honest, it, it was round about the same. And I wish I had anything better to say apart from that, but I kind of don't. And in about an hour and a half or so, I'll be getting ready to start it all once again. The difference, however, is that there were a few other things I wanted to mention that happened last night for what they're worth. First of all, not necessarily the most important thing in the world to point out, but nonetheless important, is that owing to MRMO staff having back problems, and back problems is like I've never had to have, like, the last time I ever had issues with my back was maybe when I was about 20, and that was more trapped nerves in my lower back. But to be honest, don't have back, please do not have back problems. And if you do, get on the phone to a doctor, a chiropractor, a witch doctor if you have to, because it's not the sort of thing that just heals because you've decided to stop talking about it. You've got to be able to see it one way or another. As a result of this, one of my managers came up to me and, in a matter of seconds, just sort of asked me, "Big Jim, would you like to do a Friday an extra shift on Friday?" And I said yes after thinking about it for all of maybe 2 seconds. And as you probably might imagine, 2 seconds is not enough time to think about stuff like that. And to be honest, it only took about 2 seconds after I said it before it even occurred to me what I just agreed to. But in fairness, I think it's probably for the best, because this one is from 2 o'clock in the afternoon till 10 o'clock at night, which, to be honest, yeah, that's fine. To be honest, that one's going to suit me just fine. At least I have a day off on Thursday and a day off on Saturday, because I have a shift on Sunday afternoon from 4 o'clock till midnight, and it will be my first Sunday shift at this sort of place I work at for the first time in about a year and a half. And actually, I'm actually really looking forward to it, because I've often said at this previous place I used to be at, the best day of the week to work is on a Sunday. And that's because Sunday actually, in my opinion, merits something that people try to be on their best behaviors on a Sunday. I don't know why, but everybody is just kind of relaxed, and everybody is a little bit more keen to, like, look towards the week ahead, whether it's work or whatever it may be. So I think the general attitude of people is quite a lot better on a Sunday. Also, maybe it's because people have less to drink. Perhaps, maybe that's the real reason for it. Who knows? So yeah, Sunday I'm actually looking forward to, and then starting next week, I work at a slightly different department, and it was something I had a little bit of a taster of last week. So because it went off without a hitch, without any real issues, I'm glad to say that, guess what? It's going to be a doddle, because it's almost all throughout next week. If things are, busy and stuff like that. So we'll crack on, we'll get on with it. And to be honest, doing 40 hours this week means I'll get paid more anyway, and it may help me out that probably not until July, maybe June, we'll start asking to do maybe 40 hours or stuff like that. I'm not saying I'll get it, but maybe now is the time to start getting into a bit more of a longer routine at work. Maybe it's the time to do that. So yeah, that was a small chain of events. And then there was something else that happened last night that actually made me kind of it brought out a very complicated string of emotions that came one after another, and they didn't really overlap or repeat themselves. I won't really go into much detail about what it was, because there's no way I could do it without naming things and stuff like that. But for reference, a member of staff is leaving, and this member of staff who thought that, I can't really explain it in any other way, but apart from it gave me the certain feelings of surprise, anger, and then a kind of a form of resolution that kind of made me come to terms with things, but I was still relatively unsatisfied with it. Because for all the things that this person said to me and thought that they were that much cleverer than me, and they thought that they could patronize and condescend, I must admit, I'm used to that sort of thing before from like customers, but not from other members of staff. At least not in the way that this person did it. So the thought that we went through like training after about for like 6 weeks of training, and then a whole month on the job, and this person just decided to call it quits. It made me feel like all the things that I was that they said to me, it feels like it was all for nothing. I feel like I've just sat back and took all of this for nothing. And that's one way of looking at it, and which would explain why I was like, to be honest, quite pissed about the whole situation. But what was also quite funny, in a very roundabout sort of way, is the fact that, well, what why would why would they? I can't see why they would be surprised as to why people would have that sort of reaction to things. And yeah, it didn't play on my mind all night, but I must admit, whilst it was happening, and to be honest, when it's quiet at work, sometimes the minutes can drag by relentlessly. So yeah, that's just kind of really all I had to say. And sometimes processing such things is a bit of a, but more of an art than science. But I am prepared to say, guess what? That was yesterday. Shit day again yesterday. Tonight it's going to be better. If we could get 1 out of 3 so far, I think we'll be all right. And it's not exactly as if I've done anything wrong. It's just sometimes, I don't know, sometimes I feel like it's a bit hard to keep my feelings under. Sometimes I think it's a bit hard to keep my feelings under control. Or at the very least, it's very difficult not to notice like feelings of, anguish, pain, and just dread and anger and frustration written all over my face. But there you are. In the meantime, I'll see all of you guys again next time. Thank you.